Welcome back to the Finding Faith in Rock and Roll series and our unprecedented look at the Renaissance Band. What's the largest crowd you've ever played for?
I played this past New Year's Eve in Canada for about 100,000 people. It was with Dennis DeYoung, and it was a New Year's rocking. You know, it was at Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, and it was just a sea of people with the Niagara Falls backdrop. And it was freezing. It was like outside. It was like 20 degrees. And they had heaters on stage, so it was about 80 degrees from the waist down, and it was about 30 degrees from the waist up. You know, it was amazing.
That's awesome. Go to a jam on a Monday night in a place in the city called the Cutting Room. One of the highlights there was we were playing a song, and I remember looking over to the side of the stage, and there's this tall guy standing, a tall dark-haired guy standing over there holding a guitar, and I thought, he looks familiar. Who's that? I'm thinking who it is while we're playing. And then Richie gets up on stage and says, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got something special for you now. We've got John Mayer. And so John comes up and I go, oh, that's who that was sitting over there, standing over there. So we played a couple of songs with him, and it was great, and he shook our hands and said, thanks, guys, it was great. I just wanted to play. Thanks a lot. And then he just split.
I worked with this Oscar award-winning composer, Tan Dunn, when I was doing a lot more classical music. That was a great experience. John Wade, I played a gig with him and different people. Yeah.
You've been on Broadway?
Been on Broadway, yeah, with the Billy Joel show, Moving Out, which was great, a lot of fun.
Well, I am proud to say that I'm now a professional musician, and after 5 years, long 5 years in finance, I was able to make the transition thanks to my wonderful husband. Now I currently teach private students vocal lessons, and I teach them to be musicians first and singers second. And I also perform with big bands. I love jazz. Jazz is kind of my venue.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy playing at whatever levels. I mean, you know, that certainly was an amazing experience. But sometimes playing in a smoky pub or something in New Jersey, and you have those nights where everything just sounds good, and so it varies. But sometimes it's not really the magnitude of the gig; it's the quality of what comes out.
Some of the best players that I've ever played with are in this group, and not just great players, it's a great collection of guys and females as well. Just a great atmosphere, great vibe. But in addition to that, obviously the congregation is great. They're just very supportive, very appreciative. You know, some of the nicest people that I've met. Everyone here is very intently listening and really appreciative, and it's a really kind of rewarding experience to come here and do that.
Yesterday.
The Beatles, to me, I mean, was a group that just wore out record by record. I've had like 4 copies of Sgt. Pepper, and music is passion, and whether you like it or not, whether it makes you angry or whether it makes you disgusted or whatever. I mean, music to me is emotion. So like you try and take the song and you put it to people, and do it justice.
As a guitar player, certainly there's a lot of signature licks or signature parts or sounds that if they're not there, I don't really think the vibe is going to be there. So I know that I spend a lot of time working on those parts, and Jimmy spends a lot of time working on them, and because I think that really is an integral part of pulling off, a classic tune by the Beatles.
It's one of those songs I think that you can carry through life, especially as a person of faith. You walk every day, and you definitely have times where you totally biff it, you mess it up. It's nice to know that, your sins are forgiven, and you can kind of put everything in the past, yesterday.
That's great.
If you look back at the previous years of the rock and roll series, we've done a Beatles song every year. Every song we've ever done owes something to the Beatles. I feel a certain pressure to perform it in a way that's authentic to the way the Beatles did it. At the same time, I feel a bigger pressure not to suck. So we'll do the song however we can do it best.
Yesterday.